WBTV at 4 o'clock, and then she has a new show at 8 o'clock. So she's the moderator, and she's going to get us started.
First, I want our panelists to introduce themselves, and then we're going to throw out some questions and start a dialogue, and then we're going to give you the opportunity to ask questions and to get involved in this conversation as well.
My name is Joy Randall. I am a professional makeup artist. I'm August Makeup Art. A makeup studio right here on 7th Street. I've been doing makeup for about 8-9 years now. And I'm seeing face here. My brother's in the back. He's sure to face on. Try to be, shy or whatever. But anyway, so I'm a wardrobe stylist and costumer. That's what I do. I truly do want to say, but from Miami, a graduate of Harvard University, and I've been in shop for the past 3 years. While living here, I studied a lot on Keep It Clean with a friend of mine from DC, who's Trey. And we just talk about pop culture from a social conscious queenly perspective. So, hello.
Hi, my name is Kenya Templeton. I am owner of UrbanGirlGranolaWorld, which is a natural health and lifestyle blog and life coaching business. A self-love addict. I am a depression survivor. I suffered from depression 14 years ago. I was actually suicidal. And I came out of that through the use of medical therapy as well as mental therapy, just dealing with a lot of stuff that I hadn't dealt with in the past. And so that allowed me to just develop this strong self-love for myself. And it's something that I want for every woman. I think that every woman deserves it. I think you need to know that you're special, no matter who you are, where you come from. And I think that some of us who have the hardest backgrounds end up being the best people. But you have to really be willing to let other people in. So that's me.
Great. All right, well, we'll just jump right in with the first question, and we'll just go down the road. Or if you feel so excited to be here for this event and for us to have some really frank and honest dialogue about what it means to be beautiful and how we define it for ourselves and how the world can try to define it for us and what we need to do to keep pushing forward to make sure that we are giving the right definition of beauty, not only for ourselves, but for the young girls, those who are coming up behind us, who need to see real positive images of beauty. And I have to tell you, I am beyond excited to see so many of you rocking your natural hair. Like, as someone who gets at least one idiotic email a day about someone who's ignorant and doesn't like my look, I'm so thrilled to see that on so many of you. So give yourselves a hand for that. Because I feel like when you feel that you're beautiful and you're owning it, it shines through, it radiates. And so even if it's not something that society deems as beautiful, it's an overused example, but I'll just keep using it. Beyonce, she is held up as that. But I think that there are so many others. That's why I'm excited to see someone like Lupita embraced not only by us, by the Black community, by the African community, the Mexican community, because she was born in Mexico, but also mainstream America. She was not just getting love from Essence. She was on the cover of People magazine, which I think is great. That really goes a long way in showcasing that there are so many different kinds of beauty. And I know for me, you talk about beauty being self-acceptance and really owning who you are. And for me, that took a while. I never thought that I was the pretty girl growing up. I just didn't. I knew I was smart, and that I was funny, and that I had a great personality. And I felt like all my girlfriends were the pretty ones. So I was like, well, I'm not going to compete with that because I didn't feel that I was. So I'll be smart, I'll be funny, and super driven. And in part what has gotten to me where I am today. But at some point you have to start dealing with that. And for me it came, later in life when I was in my 20s. And I don't know about you, but the older I get, the less crap I take off of it. And the less I'm concerned with how people see me, and I think that's part of the reason why I felt empowered enough to go natural, even though I am in the television news business, because I used to say to a friend of mine that I went to school with, she lives in DC, and we would be talking over Facebook or whatever, and I think you should go natural. And I'm like, yeah, you have lost your mind. Okay? Charlotte is not ready for that. And that was my tagline. I said it all the time, all the time, all the time. And then when I broke my ankle a couple of years ago on the job and was out of work for 10 weeks, I was like, there's no need to keep this weave in now. It's just, macked up. So I decided I was going to go over and take it out. And I just felt so free and so empowered. And I decided, you know what? I feel like I'm my most authentic self when I am now. I feel beautiful when I'm natural. That's when I feel like I'm really owning my beauty. And I didn't ask permission. People ask me that all the time. Nope. I was like, I'm just going to walk up in there. See if they notice. In a bad way, like you need to go home and someone else is going to fill in for you, kind of way. And thankfully, and management is white men, old white men at WBTV, and they loved it. And so that really went a long way for me in helping to me, even at 33, to redefine what beauty means to me. And every time I get an email or a Facebook or a tweet, Instagram, whatever, from another Black woman, particularly a Black mother who says, I love what message you're sending to my kids, to my girls, that, there's someone on TV who looks like you. It's attainable, you can do it. I know I'm doing the right thing, So I think that's gone a long way in helping me embrace my beauty.
And I think even on piggybacking with that, because we do have a natural hair salon, and 98% of women that we encounter are natural, or they're wanting to go natural, and there's become this kind of war between girls who are natural and girls who aren't natural, or girls who are natural and want to wear their hair straight. And I don't think that being natural means that you love yourself anymore. Because I've met several women, me, Jessica, Kelly, Marquis, can tell me women that come in and sit in our chairs and they just hate themselves, even though they're natural, and even though they've gone through this transition, they still don't like who they are because they haven't done the work that it takes to really change and to transition into that natural part of it. So how you wear your hair doesn't mean you're any more beautiful just because you a sister rocking a pro or whatever, versus a sister that's got a weave down her back. I mean, she may just want to wear a weave because she wants to wear a weave, because a lot of times we feel like, oh, she's wearing a weave because she's hiding who she is, or she doesn't want to own up to who she is, but that's not always true. I mean, I might wear a weave tomorrow. I probably won't because it's got me. If I were to wake up tomorrow and I want to have straight hair, just because I want a natural hair salon, just because we advocate being natural, that doesn't mean I can't do that. I mean, we also have to be comfortable in our skin, and we're only accountable for ourselves. And I think that's where a lot of the issues come in, because we're constantly like, oh, well, girl, you ain't got no hair. You must be a lesbian. Girl, you must not be clean. I mean, there's all that stereotype that we place upon each other. And I think that's something that we need to really start to deal with and not be judgmental of each other because of how we wear our hair.
I think the reason why there's a judgmental group is, well, that's the beauty of Black hair, because it is so versatile, and the lady that had long weave, she could very much so, be natural underneath. But it's the image, the constant image of people with weave. So then you have people that are going natural that are saying, like, although weave is cool, wear it less, or don't wear it as much, because you have kids or you have people that are walking around that are constantly seeing that image, not only in media, but in real life. So it's hard because you constantly have to battle the balance. Like, I know when I went natural, like 3-4 years later, I wanted something new and different, and so I got my full head weave. And like over time, I remembered why I stopped rocking it to begin with, but I had to go through that for myself. So it's just, exactly. Like beauty is, I guess, I was kind of speechless initially, but it's like constantly growing. Like it doesn't stop when you go natural, it doesn't stop when you accept your skin tone. It's just continuously growing and being you.
And to even piggyback a little bit more on that is the comparison. Like, we compare ourselves so much. Anything that you see, like the next girl, or the fact that, oh, she has my hair, it's beautiful, how are they gonna look on me? But, like, it's that self-acceptance and really just kind of looking in the mirror and saying, this is what I like
And knowing that knowing that you don't have to, not only do you not have to compare yourself to that next sister, but you can give her props. Right. I can't do the blonde hair, but she is rocking the hell out of it. You know what I'm saying? And it looks good on her. You know what I mean? And feeling like there's not this competition. We get enough competition from the rest of the world. Else we don't need to keep it on each other. And I think that's part of what takes that beauty away from us, is that, when you're, how it is if you walk through the store or whatever and you get a once over from another sister. Really? Like, really? I know you didn't know me. Right? I try to smile, and then it's like, okay, well, maybe she's having a bad day. No, she's still staring. Hey, I see you. So I think that also, that feeling like, another thing that's part of coming into your own and feeling beautiful is not having to feel like you have to compare yourself to the next girl because she is smaller than you, or her curls are different than yours, or whatever,
Because as beauty professionals, we know that women, everybody wants what you have. I got straight hair, but I want curly hair, and vice versa. People are always admiring you whether you think they are or not. Most of the time when they're staring at you, they see something that they're not.
And they're wishing that they could have that too. Okay, so the next question for the panel. What is one story about beauty that you heard as a girl that you felt like stayed with you and even now continues to affect on some level how you feel about your own beauty or the beauty of others? Yeah.
I had braces twice. And my mother has a gap, and my father has a gap. Not as big as mine, but they both have gaps. And my mom, though I had great diction, the smarts, was always concerned that I wouldn't get to a certain place in life because of a gap. And so she did everything possible to hide her gap, and she did everything possible to hide my gap. And then when I was in college, I was hit head-on in a car accident, and because I had braces twice, I couldn't get them a third time. So, in the midst of the first time having the braces and 4 teeth were pulled out, now my gap's even bigger than it was before. And so, what I heard then, I'd say about 6 years ago, my mom said, well, if I hadn't put that money in your braces, I could have gotten my teeth fixed. So, hence, if you see my mom now, she doesn't have her gold cap and her gap. She has gotten it fixed. But in that, I kind of understood maybe something happened to her that caused her to have that hate for the gap. But I find it funny that now everyone else looks at me and they're like, I'm glad you didn't do anything to your gap. And I'm going, if you knew how many orthodontist appointments I went through and headpieces I wore and everything. But I just learned kind of that it is what I am. And I got it from both of my parents. So it couldn't have been that bad. So I just learned to accept it because I'm not going to pay money to get it. But I mean, I get looked. I'm willing to smile. I have no problem smiling with my gap. If you don't like my gap, that's your problem.
So what you're saying is being a makeup artist, because I work at counters and I also have individual clients, women come to the counter with so much stuff. And a lot of it is whatever they perceived when they were a little girl. I mean, my forehead too big. You're like, I'm not even looking at your forehead. And the next thing I say is somebody told you you had a huge forehead when you were little. And everybody, you do. And your parents, again, your mother, whatever her gripes are, a lot of times that will just go right on into you, and you have to fight it. You really do. You really have to fight it.
I think for me growing up, it was my lips. They were just so big. That word. And even families, you just got a girl into them. Like, what is that? And I mean, aside from that, I think too, I wouldn't ever consider myself so the way I carry myself isn't necessarily beautiful, but I've come to accept all of me, all of my lips. Up until recently, I was scared to wear like colorful lipstick.
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah, I was like afraid of red, of wearing red, because it just makes me appear larger than what they are.
I felt the same way about my gap.
Yeah.
I didn't want to wear bright lipstick because
Yeah.
people would
Draw
look at my
attention.
mouth and then
I'm like, these look good to me, and I can't do anything about it.
Own it.
You know, so whether you like it or not, I mean, it is what it is.
But do you know how many white people pay good money? Waste good money.
Yeah.
Really. But you have full lips. So own it. And again, it goes, and I'm asking this question because it just goes to show how deep things that you were taught as a child, exposed to, said to you over and over again, you continue to carry with you to this day. And sometimes it's a conscious effort and a continual effort to not let that, be your baggage, to not let that weigh you down. I had a gap when I was younger. You look at some old school, older mills. And I had a gap and I was self-conscious, and I remember saying to my mom, I really think I need braces. And I also have a slight overbite. It's very slight, so no one knows except me. Well, and now all of you. And Mom, braces, girl, please, was the equivalent of what she said. She was like, let me tell you what you're gonna do. You shake your toothpick, your thumb, and you do like this. And you just squeeze it. And that's gonna help that gap. Now, because I adored my mother and ultimately, feared her as well, I was like, oh, okay. Mom's not gonna give me braces, but she says if I walk around like that. And who was walking around like that? Here's right here. Now, of course, my teeth grew in, the baby teeth, and then but again, that was something that stayed with me, as a child. And it's so funny now that one of the things that I always hear from people is, oh, you have such a beautiful smile. Let me pull out that old photo from back in the day. So again, things that stay with you. I know one thing that I battled with and continue to a certain extent with a long time was my weight. Because my mom is so petite. I'm 5'1", these stilts notwithstanding. And my mom is like 4'10" on a good day. And you would never know that she had 3 C-sections because she's like $1.25, soaking wet. My sister is small. And so my mom always made me feel that I was big. Even starting from junior high school, I developed faster than the other girls. I don't even know what a training bra is. I bypassed that section. And so that stayed with me. And it was such a deep scar up until, Team No Sugar for me last year when I decided to give up processed sugars for 90 days. And because I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I was tired I felt like if my life is a newscast, my weight was always the lead story. The thing that everyone was talking about. And that started from a very young age. My mother telling me that I was big, and I look back at pictures and I'm like, God, I could kill for that.
I was the same way. I was big growing up. My mom was here in the audience, and my mom was always, she had a banging ass body, like. They were really just going crazy with my mom. And my mom never made me feel bad about being big, but I just was big, or wore plus size. And like you said, looking at pictures now, I'm like, dang, I really wasn't big, but I guess it was just the society that we grew up in. I always felt pretty because everybody would always say, you pretty for a big girl. So,
Which is a backhanded
that's
compliment.
and what's going on the inside of you that makes you feel like you have to carry this weight around, I think it changes something in you. I've been on a weight loss journey now for, what, 8 years? Probably about 8 years. And I lost well over, maybe close to maybe 150 pounds. And you know, because I've been on the other side, I can say that when you lose the weight and you start to feel better about yourself, you realize that you really weren't happy and you really weren't dealing with the stuff you need to deal with, because if you were, then you would have made this effort. And it's about, I feel much better, I have so much more energy. I didn't realize, like, you know, just little stuff. I can put on my pantyhose without losing my breath. Just, I mean, the simplest thing that if you've never been big, you wouldn't understand. When big girls get it, it's like once you start to slowly transition over, you just feel a lot better, and it just changes something inside of you, and it makes you want to share it with other people. Everybody can't have the same journey that you have, and people say to me all the time, well, you know, what's your secret? How you did it? Because they might have seen me 5 years ago, and then they see me now, and they're like, damn, girl, what you do? Like, they probably think I smoke crack or something, but it's like, it's been a journey and it's a process. I mean, my friends will tell you, I have some strong willpower. Like, if I say I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it. If I tell y'all I'm not, some of y'all here, like, read my blog or my Facebook friends, and y'all know I'm on a 365-day fast right now, and I'm giving up a lot of stuff that I really love, and alcohol is one of them. It ain't easy. I love to drink. I'll take a cocktail over dessert, like eating daily. I just love the socialization of having a drink with my friends and hanging out with my friends. But we as women, we have to learn to make sacrifices to get what we want and to be better than where we were before. So with me dealing with my weight issue and all of those types of things, it's just opened up just a lot of different things for me, and I realized a lot of stuff I missed out on because of my weight, a lot of stuff that I really carried around, and it made me really have to deal with those things. So I think that's very important. A lot of times we want to point fingers at everybody else and blame other people. Well, my mama wasn't there for me, or my daddy did this, or my cousin did that, or my teachers did this. But there comes a time when you really have to take accountability for yourself and figure out what it is that you want and what it is that's going to make you better. And I think once you start working on that, that's when your life really starts to turn around for you.
I think the commonality of what both of you all are saying too is vulnerability. Like, at some point you have to tell yourself, this is what I don't like. You know, and then what am I going to do about it? Like, that's the way to get to really figure, because a lot of people just soothe with whatever it is, whether it is alcohol or food or sex or, you know, anything. I was going to flip the script a little bit and say that one of my issues growing up, and I had to think about it when we first asked the question, was people always say, oh, you're sexy. You're sexy, you're sexy, you're sexy, but it was never beautiful. So it was like, really, you found out that men were more attracted to your body. And then, so, not even really knowing it until I got to this point where it's like, okay, let me get honest with myself about my relationship issues, you know, why I might do certain things. You know, it can go either way. You know, it's not always about being big or being whatever. It's again, like, what is really beautiful, you know, to you.
So, you said look and discuss what you don't like, but I also think you need to look at yourself and see what you love about yourself. I mean, just how many, are you comfortable looking at yourself naked? Right. Like, are you? Have y'all done that? Right. Like, you know what? Like, seriously. Like, I did, like, maybe 6 months ago, I was getting out the shower, and I literally just stared at myself. And I told myself, Davita, I love your hair, I love your eyes, I love everything about you. And that was just, that felt so good to do. I've never done that before.
But I think going through that exercise is so important because we just see so much negativity in the world. 5 years ago, I got rid of cable, I got rid of satellite, all of that. Because one thing is, you get up in the morning, and sometimes the news is nothing but negativity.
Yes.
Open up sometimes. Sometimes it's a good, feel good story. And then you open up the paper,
us your name and one thing you love about yourself and you think is beautiful. We'll have the panel start and then we'll just kind of let it go.
And I think just like what you were saying about just looking at yourself negative, but you know, like if you look at other women too and find something that you like about other women, I think that especially as Black women, we might see another woman and be like, oh, her haircut is so cute, but we won't say anything. We just tell you. Yeah. We just like, okay, no, like 5 years ago, I was like, you know what, from now on, like when I go out, if I see a woman, I'm gonna find one thing I like about her, and I'm gonna be like, you know, I like this, I like that. Even if it's her earrings, you know, we need to learn to give each other compliments. And don't just stare. I was during CIAA, I was riding the train, and there was this young lady, she was on the train, I got on the train, and I'm waiting on the train, and she was like sitting right here, and I was standing up, and she was staring at me. I was like, hey, how you doing? She was like, I'm good, staring at me. Whatever. The girl be going. So then I get an Instagram thing, and she was like, oh my God, that was you on the train. And I was like, yeah. She was like, oh, I was going to say something, but I felt like it was going to be weird and awkward. I was like, no, like that's, but I get it, like I understand, but like that's your opportunity to connect with people. Like if you follow me on Instagram, apparently you like, no. So I'm like, no, like that's your opportunity. I was like, no, you should have said something if that ever happens again. Say something to me or say something to other people. It happens to Jessica all the time. You know, people, I don't know if they just don't know like what you're gonna say or if they don't feel confident enough to do it. But I think that really us interacting with each other and saying stuff to each other, it just like opens up some doors. And it like makes you feel good about yourself. It makes you feel like you're really part of the sisterhood.
Okay, one thing that you love about yourself.
I can't hear anyone.
Well, just
Pick your favorite.
just, you know, follow along. Whatever. It doesn't, whatever. Physical, trait, personality-wise, you know, now that you can rock skinny jeans, whatever it is.
I love my ability to make people see the best in themselves.
I love my ability to teach.
You want to pass? You want us to go back? You think about it? Okay.
I think I love the fact that I'm open, so to speak. Like I have a sense of freedom. I like my mind.
You like your mind.
I have a pretty strong mind, right? You know, willpower and just the ability to really just keep things on track and stay focused.
What about you?
My black is beautiful.
What's your name? Sparkle. Love it.
My name is Felicia Adeoye, and I love the ability to just reclaim my mind.
My name is Fatima, and I think the part that I think that I was going to say free-spirited, but the fact that I'm very accepting. So as whoever you are, how you are, I'm sure I'm going to take you that way.
And she is, I know.
Well, now that she's not for your sake.
My name is Pamela, and I love the ability to be me.
Hi, I'm Niche, and I love my creativity.
I'm trying, and I like it. I'm really good at dating people, so I would say that, but I'm saying this one.
Okay.
That's
That's fine.
I love my smile.
You like your smile. It's a beautiful smile.
My name is Malika, and I like going to humor.
I'm a fan of mine too. I'm a Rosie.
You talk like you're singing. This is accurate.
My name is Tiny, and I love my giving heart.
My name is Lisa Nishanko, and I love my spirit.
My name is Leander, and I love my
My name is Zach, and I love patience.
I need more of that. Terribly impatient. Yes.
Hi, my name is Natasha, and I love my gap tooth smile.
Right, team now. You're getting you ladies together for a photo. Hashtag team gap.
Hi, my name is Rebecca, and I love and accept my past.
Well, that's beautiful. Yes, we'll start over you.
Hi, my name is Africa, and I love my eyes and my mouth.
My name is Missy, and I love my aunts.
My name's Extasia, and well, I was gonna say my beauty mark is grown on me, but I like my ability to my ability to just grow.
My name is Genesis, and I love my ability to own my beauty.
To own your beauty, is that what you said?
Hi, my name is Shatara, and I love my spirit.
Hi, my name is Stacy, and I love my ability to cook really awesome meals.
She might be able to cook. But I've only seen one time I saw a picture.
Yes.
Stand up.
You love to cook fabulous meals.
I will actually be real. I love my sense of humor.
I think I love her.
Your face. Skin. It's beautiful. Yes. All right, Mama.
Okay. My name is Crystal Nash. I am a health coach. I help people lose weight, get healthy. My thing that I think I've had to grow up is my sense of giving. It's overwhelming. It's been damaged, or I've been hurt because of being forgiving and loving and whatever. So as of now, I'm 40 and able to come to grips with it. I'm a big person. I'm sapphire, my things, like my personality gems, and learning that and accepting that as mine.
I see where you get the skin.
Right?
So don't ever that. Yeah. That's on deck for you. Right here.
My name is Andrea. I love my feet, and then I also love just my personality.
My name is Kristen, and I love my hair. I know that sounds cliche, but I
love hearing all the things that we had to say about how we're beautiful, because we can all get in the mirror and nitpick what's wrong. So thank you so much for participating in that. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Right back to you. My bad.
I was gonna say I love
my nose. I love that. Cute nose. All right. So the next question. First notes here. What messages about beauty do you believe are detrimental to how we see ourselves?
that there's a standard. I don't believe that there's a standard of beauty and for I think we need to define beauty for ourselves and who we are. I mean, this whole comparing queendoms is like ridiculous. Always fly as hell. Always fly as hell. Like, you know, we all need to own and define who we are and what we are. And this, shit, we're all those. But you have to believe that. I can say to you all day, yeah, you don't believe it, man. Yeah.
I would say it's, throughout history, there's always been, in different societies, different civilizations, a standard of beauty, things that were popular, ways to wear your hair. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that necessarily. I think the issue comes when there's a global
Who sets the standard? That's beauty though. Who does that?
Men. That's why they're not
You say men.
I'm
You say
just-
men, but why do you think that the power?
I was, because there ain't no men in here.
Like, why do you?
Yeah, I don't know who said it.
Yeah. That's where you buy into it for some reason. You buy into it.
On that note, I would look, everybody's seen the flyer for the event. I did the flyer, okay? But the reason that image, I chose that image because there is a chart called the Mark Hart Beauty Standard. And it is something that someone scientifically came up with that is a map for how a human face should look. And if the lines of your face fall into these segments, it means you're beautiful. And if you diverge too much from that, it means that you don't fit the standard of beauty. And that's why I chose that image, because that's an example, and it has scientific support of being that actually holds weight. And that kind of, yeah, I don't know who the individual, it's not who sets it, it's who gives those people credence.
So, hi. I think it's a Eurocentric idea, so if you look historically speaking, right, and how imperialism started. So if you look before imperialism, beauty was defined as in that image, in that village, in that country by the natives. But as soon as Eurocentric imperialism happened, they started to put their idea of beauty on all the lands in which they conquered. So if you start looking at the imperialistic standpoint from historical, it's all a Eurocentric masculine idea of beauty. Because if you look at the black woman that they took and they, the slaves and that they just, buried her remains, it was a big deal. But that wasn't beauty to them. They defined beauty as handsome. So if you look back at all the queens of England, they were mannish. They were not attractive women if you listen to how they were described. But then if you listen to like Shakespeare wrote The Woman with the Moors. What's that guy? Right. If you look how he described the women in Othello, they're all African women. They're beautiful, the skin and bronze and all this other stuff. So the scientific definition gave support of a Eurocentric masculine idea that came after imperialism. So I just say the world went to hell when imperialism started.
We just need a tight beat, like under that spoken word. Yeah.
My whole thing is money that drives.
Embrace their unique beauty. Because, they come after us,
Well, the first thing is to keep telling them that they're beautiful and figure out what about them is beautiful and allow them to say what is beautiful, not necessarily us telling them. There were things that my family would tell me that was beautiful, but it wasn't until I had a teacher in Stovall in third grade that made us make a book. We had to make the actual book, and we had to write in the book what was beautiful about us, or what things did we see were beautiful. And it wasn't until that I said, oh, well, this is what beauty is. And so you can't be sold on something if you don't believe it. So if you fully believe that you're beautiful or that something is a certain way, you can't be sold on it. So we have to first put that into a child and allow them to define it for themselves.
You have to affirm again.
Constant.
Yeah.
And exposure. You have to have exposure with your kids. It seems like she was just saying, traveling. I think that's one of the things that we've blessed in the Black community is letting our kids travel. We have this fear of what's going on out there, and we don't want to let our kids go out and explore and experience things. But it's not until you travel that you understand just how twisted the United States of America is. There's some bullshit going on in the United States of America. And I think that when you are just in a certain area, and you're in that certain area all the time, it makes you become complacent in that area. Especially in Charlotte. Charlotte is a city that's very complacent and very close. People here are very close-minded. They're not open to a lot of different things. And people come from the north and they talk about us. I don't think that they're talking about us mainly because we're country or they think they're less than that. They're talking about us because we're unexposed. And we don't understand. And when you go different places, there's a melting pot where you're living with other cultures. When I went to Panama recently, really gave me, I went to Panama, it's a Spanish-speaking country. I don't speak any Spanish. And it made me have so much compassion for the Spanish people that are here. Because we treat them
We're going this way. You love your eyebrows. Yes.
I'm a whole baker, and I love my self-motivation and my internal strength.
My name is Tinesha Johnson, and I love my silliness, and I wish I could watch myself dance.
You can totally do that.
I was raised in, my mother always wanted us to travel. She wanted us to see the world over. I hate to travel, not what I like to do, but I love culture, and I love differences, and I want you to be a part of that. This is my daughter, right? The thing is that for me, it was important that my children understood other cultures and other ways of being. I look a certain way, so people, some of the things that some of the people on this panel, I really can't relate to you from your perspective, but from the other side, I'm a dark-skinned woman with straight hair. This is how I live, this is how I walk. I've always gotten things like, you're beautiful, Mrs. Roberts. Or, you're beautiful with hair, and a straight hair, that's not that, that's you. So I wanted my children to understand.
The person I'm becoming is only 18, I'm so happy, so I'm
Right.
My name is Lynette, and what I love about myself is tenacity, just be.
Begin to describe somebody else as black, like black is the color of that wall. And I was like, look, we're the color of that chair though, we're not black. Like, and he had this whole thing about color, and the conversations they had among themselves, I wish that more like what that sister said were happening, because they are having some damaging conversations among themselves, and there were none of our baby students were involved. It was just us going in, and who was the darkest, and who was this one, and this was in front of the teacher. So imagine what they say when we're not around. So it is definitely still in this current generation, regardless of
So please give her extra hand time for she already got
My mistakes.
These ladies who just came in.
My name is
Leah's mom. I love that I can forgive and to love unconditionally.
My name is Martha.
Y'all all stole everything I was gonna say, but I came up with something. This is gonna sound so like, I don't know. I love my boobs. I never wear training bras. Undershirt, C-cup. Yeah, undershirt, C-cup. I just went like that. Pretty much. And people make fun of me for having big boobs. But I just had a baby, and they make so much food for him. I just love them. Like, I love them so much, even more than I loved them before. So I love my boobs.
Yeah, I'm gonna just 1 second. Jessica?
Yes. I love my ability to find something positive in any situation. It's raining, the world's ending, blah, 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 but I can always find
We're having a great time in here.
Exactly.
Ghetto, hood, broke, ugly. And so I'm like, okay. And so we're like, well, how do you view white people? Okay, well, they're rich, they're educated, they have money, well-spoken. And so then we watched the video, white, black, and Hispanic kids, majority of them choosing the white doll over the black, and all my students were up in arms, like they were all upset, and I was like, well, this is exactly what you just told me. The same reason they're choosing the dolls, the reason you view yourself in that way. So the conversation with children, I feel like, has to start really, really early. And you come off as someone who is extreme when you tell black kids, like, you know, embrace your hair or embrace your color, especially for people outside of our culture or even people within our culture. So it's always a hard or heavy conversation to have, especially when yes.
I was just saying that something that you said when she said that it's not just this generation is really cruel, it's also what is going to teach your child when they're young. Because I've been natural for 4 years now. I had cut my hair completely off. And when I first went to go see my dad, he asked me, did you cut your hair because you're lesbian? So when that came to me, I thought, wow, I can't just be now because I want to be. I have to be labeled as something. So that also upset me a little bit. But I also have to understand some people are trying ignorance. And it's not their fault, it's their parents' fault.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to make my way around in the back.
Well, I'm an
was very surprised at their reaction because it wasn't exactly negative, but it wasn't positive at the same time. And I was just like, you know something, I'm tired of you guys. And I was like, I like my hair, and I was like, I'm gonna teach myself to go into it because it's gorgeous, basically. And to cut all your hair off and be able to be bold and stand up in front of a bunch of people and be confident about it is something really serious because you're basically starting over again. But I love my hair. Thank you.
Before I take from the audience, anybody else? Tinesha, you're on character. I'm mildly concerned.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it just depends on the industry that you're in and what it is that you're trying to get. I mean, I do understand what Joy is saying that sometimes beauty can get you in and your brains can sustain you. I mean, and once again, it depends on what we're talking about. I mean, I think there are times when, I mean, I don't know, I forget because I didn't know what the hell I was going on without cute.
For me personally, the way that I became conscious about my own beauty and about the beauty within my own community is sadly enough through the internet, because teaching my family surely hasn't taught me that, and school definitely has not brought that to me either. So having that willpower and that want to be like, why are people calling me, why do you keep saying I look like poop, why do they keep saying my hair is this way? Like, I didn't understand it, and I didn't understand why other people disliked me when I had no problem with it. I never understood it, and the reason that I went natural wasn't on purpose, it was just because my hair was falling out. To tell my other friend, like I have another friend who's Japanese and African American, and she has so many issues with her color and her parents and like all this stuff, for me to say like, look, you're beautiful, you don't have to straighten your hair for prom. You don't have to do a thing, you can be whoever you want to be. And for me to say that to another person who's 18 or 17, I think it's so important that just like you guys are having this conversation, that kids in my generation are doing the same thing, because Lord knows
she was deemed to be beautiful. So beauty is perception, but the fact is, you just talk about Black Americans. Okay. We don't let people into the club or to the room unless he or she. They're beautiful. That's true. Okay. We don't care about their brains. We care about how beautiful they are. My son, my daughter will tell you, a 30-year-old son who's not that gorgeous, straight from me, drops that. And the truth of the matter is, I'm guilty. We're guilty. We don't tell him, honey, I'll take you. Where you want to go? You want to go to Europe? You want to travel? Not because I'm smart. Now, when I opened my mouth there and said, well, you know, you can take me, but now, okay, they want you to be beautiful. They don't want you to talk. They don't want you to be smart. They just want you to be beautiful. That's the real. Black people do that to each other. White people.
I'm 41 now, and I have noticed this distinct pattern. The quintessential standard of beauty in this country is blonde hair. blue eyes. There is an unprecedented level of favor for people with blonde hair and blue eyes. I mean, I had a supervisor at a college job on campus. She was blonde hair, blue eyed. And she said to me, I was thinking, like, we could totally clean up the environment if we got rid of cows. Why do we need cows anyway?
What?
And I said, milk? And she goes, oh. And I thought, the hell? I report to you? She was an adult, not a student manager. Wrong. So that's one example. I have these repetitive examples throughout my life of blonde-haired buffoonery. And so it just doesn't stop. And so yeah, I think that there's a lot to that. There is a lot to that. It's not made up, it's real.
Being heralded, graduated from Yale, appeared in her very first film, and nailed the Oscar against that J-Law who fell on the red carpet 2 years in a row.
I want you to recognize beautiful, not just, oh, she's typical pretty. I want you to recognize a beautiful woman, a beautiful girl. That comes from inside out. We just literally had this conversation.
Up on Facebook from all my tweets and my friends that saw it, missed it, forgot about it, didn't know about it, so they already want to know what's next.
Should have been here. Should have been here.
But also the fact that you see that this room is filled tells you that this is a conversation that we need to continuously keep having, because one, there is a revolution that's going on for natural hair, which I am proud of. But the other piece of that is there's an awakening that's happening where we need to have these conversations, and we do need to figure out how do we have these conversations for 17-year-olds, for 18-year-olds, for them to start learning, for 14-year-olds. How do we get this conversation in front of them and their mothers, for them to understand the damage that as parents, even though I'm not a parent, my mentees are my children, what damage we're causing and how we can fix that now instead of waiting till you're 30, 40, 25, 28, 52 and learning to love who you are.
Well, this is definitely something that very much goes as a continuum. Like, we're going to have events, so as long as you just keep supporting us, we'll keep making sure that stuff like this is done.
Thank y'all so much. I'm gonna go home and cry later too. No, I'm serious. I'm really gonna cry later. But I'm gonna cause some tires and I'll cry later. Anyway, I have my lovely assistant Jessica here. So
Swat. It's not Dupp and Swat. It's not Dupp and Swat. Sweat, none of that, okay?
I'm sorry, I also want to introduce one other person. I have a cousin here, her name is Lucinda Shanko. Lucinda Shanko was one of the first black plus size supermodels, right? Woo! Well, yeah. She was on the cover of Essence. Yes, 3 times. And
I want y'all to go down. Okay. You want to do the raffle?
Raffle. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Ticket beautiful.
What's this one for?
This one is for a $25 gift certificate from CJ Wax Studio, where you can get the best esthetician services in Charlotte, North Carolina, in the world. Now, our new beautiful home, if you haven't visited, at 3112 North Meyer Street, Suite 115. So we specialize in textured hair, curly, cut, wavy, color it, style it, lock it, twist it, all of that. No straightening just. So, and we give free consultations every day that we're seeing clients. So maybe we'll see some of you, some new faces in natural hair that I haven't seen before. I really want to thank Davita and Dion for opening up their